fucking money, shithead!
It's down there somewhere. Let me take another look.
Don't fuck with us.
Finishing up our noir month, we're talking about a Coen Brothers movie we've wanted to cover for a long time. It's Lebowski time, baby. The Big Lebowski was written by Joel and Ethan Coen, inspired by the work they did with John Turturro and John Goodman for Bart and Fink, as well as The Long Goodbye, which we discussed last week, and the work of Raymond Chandler in general, as well as a producer they had met named Jeff Dowd, who had been a member of the Seattle Seven, gulped down White Russians, and even went by the Dude.
I lived through the 60s and 70s, and there are elements in my own life that I pull from, and elements of friends that I know and knew, and also the Coen Brothers. One of their buddies is a guy named Jeff Dowd, Jeff the Dude Dowd. His name is actually the Dude. That's how he's referred to. And he was on the set occasionally.
And you all called him Dude?
Dude, yeah.
So they would call you Dude and him Dude?
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Couple of dudes.
Couple of dudes.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that weird?
As well as a Vietnam vet they knew named Peter Exline, who lived in a shitty apartment and whose dirty apartment had a little rug that tied the room together. Whose fellow Vietnam vet was a private eye who helped him track down a stolen car that a teenager had taken. At a certain point, the Coens ran to Jeff Bridges and told him they were writing something for him. They'd also written parts for John Goodman as the Dude's Vietnam veteran friend Walter, and Steve Buscemi as Donnie, as well as for their friend John Turturro, who they had seen act in a play in the late 80s playing at Pederast, and they wrote the Jesus to really let him run wild.
It was definitely the Dude we wanted. I think he did have a good time making the movie.
He got to eat whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, it was clear to Jeff that the character wasn't into this sort of Los Angeles health, fitness, and beauty, and that he could sort of let himself go, which he probably kind of enjoyed even just for that.
Well,
one
thing he did take from the real character, the real Dude, is, the real Dude is quite overweight, and I think when Jeff met him once, and I think he looked at him and went, okay, yeah, I can kind of let my waistline go for this part.
About all Jeff wanted to know, actually pretty consistently, yeah. Jeff Bridges, the beginning.
The Coens went on a long casting session to try to find the older, big Jeffrey Lebowski, going for some really surprising actors, including Anthony Hopkins, Jack Nicholson, Gene Hackman, Tommy Lee Jones, and even Marlon Brando. Christina can read out the whole list. They eventually cast David Huddleston. The cast also includes Tara Reid as Jeffrey Lebowski's young wife, Julianne Moore as his daughter Maud, Ben Gazzara as the pornographer Jackie Treehorn, Peter Stramer as Uli the Nihilist, and Philip Seymour Hoffman as Mr. Lebowski's assistant, Brant, as well as a cool, easy narration provided by Sam Elliott as a rambling cowboy.
I've seen London, and I never been to France, and I ain't never seen no Queen and her damn Dundies.
The screenplay was written in the early 90s, around the time they wrote Bart and Fink, but since John Goodman and Jeff Bridges had other projects, it didn't get made until after Fargo.
Ever thus the deadbeats, Lebowski?
No, don't do that. Not on the rug, man.
See what happens, Lebowski?
The Dude comes home from the grocery store, and two guys are in his house breaking stuff and waterboard him in the toilet, demanding he give Jackie Treehorn his money even though his wife owes it. After realizing it's a case of mistaking identity, and it's another Jeffrey Lebowski, they pee on his rug and then leave. This sets off a wild, anarchic set of events where Walter Sobchak convinces the Dude to track down the other Mr. Lebowski, a crippled but very rich businessman who doesn't want to replace his rug, but the Dude steals a rug anyway, and then he's called back by Jeffrey Lebowski, whose wife has been kidnapped by an unknown ransomer. Convincing the Dude to act as a courier for $20,000, taking the $1 million ransom to the drop-off point, things go awry when Walter comes along and throws his dirty undies out the window instead.
What the?
Have they called yet?
What the hell is this?
My dirty undies, dude. Laundry. The whites.
Walter, I'm sure there's a reason you brought your dirty undies, man.
That's right, dude. The weight. The ringer cannot look empty.
Walter, what the fuck you thinking, man?
You're right, dude.
The Dude, Walter, and Donnie have a bowling team that's going through a tournament this whole movie. The Dude is repeatedly beat up, including getting punched while meeting the pretentious artist Maud Lebowski, who hires him on the side to get back the $1 million that her father stole from the charity fund, as well as Jackie Treehorn, the pornographer, who drugged him in Malibu, and who offers him a percentage of the money if he gets it back from Lebowski's wife. He also has his car stolen by a teenage boy, losing the money briefcase, or what he thinks is the money briefcase, and is repeatedly mauled by German nihilists from the band Autobahn, who want the ransom money. Dude is really taking it from all sides as he tries to get his facts together, and every time they get a bit of a chance, Walter immediately fucks it up. The Big Lebowski is one of those classic Coen Brothers movies combining hapless characters, inevitable plot twists, convoluted kidnapping plots. Almost every character isn't quite what they seem at first glance, with the exception of the dude, of course. It's funny they ended up having to make it back-to-back with Fargo, their other most famous movie about a convoluted kidnapping plot. It's probably one of the top 5 most quotable movies made in the last few decades. It's also a really interesting time capsule, as they chose to accentuate the Gulf War happening in the background.
For collective action, this will not stand. This will not stand, this aggression against Kuwait.
And yet it's timeless, and the characters are kind of timeless, trapped living through decades past. Both the dude and Walter living through the 60s on a daily loop, with comparisons between Vietnam and the Gulf War in multiple scenes. It's really an ode to bumming it, I'd say, because we're all living through the whole darn human comedy anyway.
I was one of the authors of the Port Huron Statement, the original Port Huron Statement.
Uh-huh.
Not the compromise second draft.